Hello, everyone. Again, this is Antonio, and I'm coming at you with another exciting video. First of all, I would like to start off by saying that this is not financial advice. The purpose of this video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Also, for those that don't know me or don't know anything about this channel, on this channel, we speak about stock, cryptocurrency, personal and business credit. Now, I love to speak about the EV sector because EVs are going to be the way of the future. Just like when the Model T came off the assembly lines from Henry Ford, there definitely going to be a new wave of vehicles that's going to push the market in ways that we have yet to discover. What I'm trying to say is the EV sector is definitely going to prosper. Just like people was jumping on the medical marijuana sector, the EV sector is the way to go. But the thing is, people are trying to get away from fossil fuels, and they want to use more clean energy. More or less, they want to use electricity. Now, all electricity does not come from fossil fuels. Some definitely comes from natural resources. And so this is not financial advice. So for me, I'm definitely putting my money in the EV market, whether it's Central, Faraday Future. Once they recover with their board shakeup, then you have Lucid Air. Another stock that we speak about on this channel is Lordstown Motors. And there are so many. Mullen Automotive is a new one. People are, they're hesitant about Mullen Automotive, but definitely, this sector of the ball game is what people are thinking about. Now, we are talking about in this video. I know you've seen the title and thumbnail. We're speaking about Canoo. Canoo is I like one thing I like about Canoo is that cars are so different than some of the other cars. They took their time. The architecture of the car is so well thought out. Like, you just don't make these cars without having people like an architecture that drew these cars out before you jump out there. So on Friday, Canoo opened at $4.69. The high was $5. When you look at when you look at the 52-week low is $4.61, and the 52-week high is $13.35. So they are definitely teetering closer to the 52-week low. But let's look at this market cap. The market cap is at 1.18 billion. So it's still so much to speak about when we are talking about Canoo. Now, let's dive into, if you don't know anything about Canoo, this is Canoo. I'm going to show you the vehicles before we get into the article. Exciting news. NASA selects Canoo for Artemis crew transport vehicles. First human lunar landing in more than 50 years. And we'll make a separate video about that in the future. But this is the engineer, the impossible, driven by technology. Canoo electric vehicles are powered by innovation that puts you in charge. And what I'm saying is, I'm doing this because you probably have never seen a Canoo vehicle, a vehicle, and you probably want to see the vehicle and then say, hey, I want to invest in this company. And this is not financial advice. That's totally up to you if that's what you want to do. So all of these vehicles is off of this platform. So let's go and click on the platform itself. All right, it's gonna go for me. Let's go. Like I said, I don't want to make this a long video, but I definitely want to speak about the car itself. All right, so this is the platform that all of the vehicles is based off, which is pretty dope. And then when you scroll down, it says Canoo has developed and produced a unique. All right, I guess it went too far for me. But anyways, let's just keep going down. The first true steer by wire Pretty interesting, right? So you get an optional of 19 or 20-inch wheels. And then when you scroll down, there are highly modular configurations. So all of the vehicles, like I said, is built on the same chassis, right? It's all built on the same little platform. So that's a pretty dope thing to speak about. And this is just the platform itself where people are driving. So regardless how these vehicles are outfitted, this is where it's at. So all of these vehicles are on the same platform. So originally, the Canoo vehicle was supposed to be built in the EU, but since they transferred all production, is going to be built in Benton, Arkansas, which is, you probably heard of that city. Uh, you are familiar with that city because that's the same city where Walmart stationed their all of the Walmart products, and the main office of what I'm trying to say, the main office of Walmart is in Benton, Arkansas, and that's where they are building this vehicle here, the Canoo vehicle. So, like I said again, this is for people that don't know anything about the Canoo. I want to display it. So this is the lifestyle vehicle. This is the MPDV vehicle, and it's the pickup truck. And this says loading because that's going to be a new vehicle that they will put on display in the future. So these vehicles, I just want to blow up one because this one is so significant, and I think this is the one that Jay Leno ordered. So he ordered this one, and I believe Jay Leno is probably one of the first people to have this vehicle. But I don't think most people have this vehicle as of yet. So you can say launching late 2022, but I think Jay Leno has his own already. And Jay Leno is definitely a car guy. So right here, 250 miles range, up to 350 horsepower, 188 feet interior volume. The fully electric, highly versatile, and offering more utility inside and out for city explorers, businesses, families. And this is the vehicle here. I think it looks amazing. I would drive this vehicle myself. This is how it looks inside. I could definitely have my family in here. Um, my wife can ride in the front or she can ride in the back. It's up to her. But I definitely think that this is a vehicle that I would buy. And at $35,000, it's not that expensive, especially when you compare it to what you're looking at on some other vehicles or some other EVs. Even if you look at Lucid Air, and I know Lucid Air is is a more luxury type car, but I'm just saying when you think about it and look at it, that's definitely a vehicle that I would purchase myself. 250 miles, 250 miles, you can drive that if you're not going far for a whole week without a charge. All depends on how far your commute is. But this is the MPDV, multi-purpose delivery vehicle. And I think that it looks really awesome as a car. I definitely do. And I like the pictures, how they have it on the road. Definitely something that I would go after if I was in that sector, but I'll be more of the actual van. And I know the van, some people might be like, I'm not into minivans, but you know, that's something that I would get into. So before I get into this article, I definitely wanted to discuss the actual vehicles itself, just so you can have a full scope. And this article comes directly from Yahoo Finance. And let's get into it. It says a 4-minute read. So let's go into the article. And it says the big shareholder groups in Canoo Inc. has power over the company. Generally speaking, as a company grows, intuitions will increase their ownerships. Institutions will increase their ownership. Conversely, insiders often decrease their ownership over time. I quite like to see at least a little bit of insider ownership. As Charlie Munger said, show me the incentive and I will show you the outcome. Canoo has a market capitalization of US 1.1 billion. So we would expect some institutional investors to have noticed the stock. In the chart below, we can see the institutional investors have brought into the company. Let's take a closer look to see what the different types of shareholders can tell us about Canoo. So you got private companies are at 12.6%, VCPE firms 16.3%, institutions 16.7%, individual insiders 21.3%, and the general public is 33.1%. So in this instance, when you look at this, let's see, the general public is almost equal to the institutions and individual insiders combined, right? Almost. It's a difference of what, four about, just say 5%. It's different than 5% because you say 16.7 plus 21.3, that'll be 0.83. So when you look at it, that's 38% total and 33, so 5%. So it's almost equals both. All right, many institutions measure their performance against an index that approximates the local market. So they usually pay more attention to companies that are included in major indices. We can see that Canoo does have institutional investors, and they hold a good portion of the company stock. This implies that an analyst working for those institutions have looked at the stock and they like it. But just like anyone else, they could be wrong. If multiple institutions change their view on a stock at the same time, you can see the share price drop fast. It's therefore worth looking at Canoo's earnings history below. Of course, the future is what matters most. So right here, this December 31st, and it says revenue $0, earnings negative, free cash flow negative, cash from ops negative. So all of that's negative. All right, so we note that hedge funds don't have a meaningful investment in Canoo. AFV Partners LLC is currently the company's largest shareholder with 16% of shares outstanding, with 13 and 13% of the shares outstanding respectively. Pak Tom Lee and Remarkable Views Consultants LTD are the second and third largest shareholders. Additionally, the company CEO Anthony Aquila directly holds 5.4% of the total shares outstanding. To take our study more interesting, we found that the 5 shareholders control more than half of the company, which implies that this group has considerably swayed the company's decision making. While studying institutional ownership for a company can add value to your research, it is also a good practice to research analysis recommendations to get a deeper understanding of a stock's expected performance. There are a reasonable number of analysis covering the stock, so it might be useful to find out their aggregate view of the future. All right, insider ownership. The definition of company insiders can be subjective and does vary between jurisdictions. Our data reflects individual insiders capturing board members at the very least. Company management runs the business, but the CEO will answer to the board, even if he or she is a member of it. Insider ownership is positive when it signals leadership are thinking like the true owners of the company. However, high insider ownership can also give immense power to a small group within the company. This can be negative in some circumstances. It seems insiders own a significant portion of Canoo. It is very interesting to see the insiders have a meaningful 240 million stake in this 1.1 billion business. All right, so let's get down to what's going on here. Let's talk about the general public. Now, the general public including retail investors, own 33% stake in the company and hence can't easily be ignored. While the group can't necessarily call the shots, it can certainly have a real influence on how the company is run. Private equity firms hold a 16% stake in Canoo. This suggests they can be influential in key policy decisions. Sometimes we see private equity stock around for the long term, but generally speaking, they have a shorter investment horizon. All right, so private company ownership. Our company data indicates that private companies hold 13% of the company shares. Private companies may be related parties. Sometimes insiders have interest in a public company through a holding in private company rather than in their own capacity as an individual. While it's hard to draw any broad stroke conclusions, it's worth nothing as an area of further research. So I just wanted to talk about what was going on with Canoo and how this may be a good stock for you. So, take your time. Whoever look at this video at another time, understand that I just want to break down some aspects of Canoo because a lot of companies do, a lot of content creators don't talk about this EV stock. So I want to give a voice to it respectfully. So this is Antonio with Team Tiggio. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you next time.